Come seeker, come traveler, come all humankind, online or in person, whomever you love.
Come and be welcome at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Cheyenne. Here, we are building a community of refuge where all have equal worth and are invited into spiritual exploration as a foundation for hope, compassionate service, and action.
This is a place where questions are encouraged, a place with room for all of who you are.
This is a place full of works in progress, a place for being human together.
Welcome. It is good to be here.
Settle in and exhale. This is a time for community.
Good morning. I'm Audrey Benton. I'm a member of the board, here to welcome you to this church where we're on a shared journey to find meaning, connection, and community together. If you are new to us, please fill out a welcome card. They're in the front of the pew. The back of the pew in front of you. You can fill it out and drop it in the offering basket when it comes along. That way we can share information about our activities and help find what nourishes your spirit here. There are also note cards in your pew for writing your joys or sorrows for the pastoral prayer. We pass a rectangular basket during the offer to gather these. Write your name or remain anonymous. You can write "do not share" on the card if there's something you want held in care by our minister and pastoral care team but not spoken aloud. Many events and activities happen each week in this community. Here are a few coming up soon. On the second and fourth Sunday, which this is one of those, we have faith development class for ages 5 to 12-year-olds downstairs, following the time for all ages. Also, some of you who came in through the front may have noticed we now have a sharing table out in the foyer. This is a place to give generously of food items, whatever you can spare, and to receive without guilt. There's no judgment, nothing. If you just happen to need a can of soup because you're busy, it's fine, whatever you might need, okay? And we would like to take this once in a while opportunity to remind you that during this season of both giving and need, please protect yourself from people who might try to take advantage of your generosity. Remember that the church will never ask you to donate gift cards or donate money in any form other than realm or during our Share the Plate section of our service. If you ever have any questions about the legitimacy of a monetary ask, please never hesitate to contact a staff member at the church by phone or in person. Please know that we would always rather slow down, have a conversation, and be safe than have you lose money hoping to help someone out quickly. All right, we gather in person and on Zoom each week, giving from our resources to sustain the work of this church and share our abundance with community organizations, broadening the reach of our values. You can find the text to give number in your order of service or use your Realm app for electronic giving. Or your Share the Plate offerings and pledges may also be dropped in the baskets in a few moments as they pass. Our Share the Plate partner for November is Veterans Rock, and we have Daryl Haugen here to tell us about Daryl. Yes, please come on up. We'll welcome you to come up and tell us about your great organization.
Good morning again. Seems like I was just here yesterday. This week has gone by so fast. So this week, we've seen 8 new veterans and active duty service members come in, and a first sergeant from the Guard, Army Guard, came in and talked to me. He has 6 guys that are afraid to come in. They're proud. They don't want to ask for help. So as a community, we need to reach out and let these people know that there's nothing to be ashamed of for needing a hand. That's one reason Veterans Rock is here, is to assist in time of need for those who have fought for us and given us our freedoms. We've been blessed with the community. We've gotten so many donations for food to take out to the F.E. Warren base for their Wrangler food pantry. So far, I took 2 loads out this last week, so we're up to 5,080 pounds of food that we've taken out there. My back room is full again, and they're not open until Wednesday, so I'm like, holy moly. It's like, what am I gonna, hopefully, we have to get a Mack truck to take the stuff out there by the time we get there. But you know what, that's a good problem to have. The community steps up. That's one thing about Wyomingites. We take care of each other. We take care of our military families and each other. So as much as people are donating to Veterans Rock, I hope everyone would donate to Needs, St. Joseph's, and even the free little food pantries around town that people sneak up to and try and get food out of so they're not seen for needing something. We got to remember everybody. I'm here supporting our military, but I'm also a human. I support everyone else. We do not want to see anyone go hungry. So with that, we have volunteers. Obviously, I got all this food coming in. I need people to help sort it and weigh it so we can get it out to the base. Our hours are Monday through Friday, 10 to 4. If anyone's interested in coming to Veterans Rock and helping, please just come to the door and we will gladly put you to work. We have no we take kids, as long as their parents are with them, 13-year-olds can come. Unfortunately, with our hours, they're usually in school. But we do have some that are homeschooled that do come in, and we welcome them because it's a great sense of community for them to learn how to give back at that age. So I just want to say that, we appreciate everything. Again, we are not government funded, so the community, we had 2 fundraisers yesterday. So I was busy all day yesterday with fundraisers. And this next Saturday, this is something kind of exciting, something new for us, is we're doing called Shopping with a Soldier. So we put it out there for veterans and active duty with kids to send their names and stuff in. And so we're gonna, at the American Legion Post 6 on Lincoln Way, we have 14 kids that are gonna come, and they're gonna go shopping at Walmart for gifts for their families with gift cards donated by the community. And they'll come back to the Legion. We'll have pizza party, sugar cookie decorating, and wrapping gifts and just having fun. Let them be kids. And then they can, as their families leave, there's 7 different families, we're giving them a Thanksgiving basket with a turkey for their families. So, it's real, it's out there. And there's lots of good stuff still happening, even amongst the craziness that we're living in right now. So again, I appreciate y'all, and I'll see you next Sunday.
All right, bear with me, guys. I just replaced the string yesterday.
for the gifts of music, of generosity, of our hearts. We offer our gratitude for all that which is given for the work of this church and of the wider community. We return to this place, for every so often it is time to slow down, to count our blessings, to consider what we have, think about what we have framed as our need, and consider what is truly important and what is coming from the desire to have ever more, driven not by true needs but by inner cravings that tell us we are not enough, that we must seek more and more and more. So, bubble, bubble, pasta pot, help us find what we need and what we do not. Help us learn from our stories and reframe those needs to become more generous and reject our greed. In today's Strega Nona inspired worship, let us join together. Today we will start in song, and we invite you to turn in your gray hymnals. Our hymnal says number 360, here we have gathered, but instead I'm going to ask you to do 361, enter, rejoice, and come in, because I know we know it, and Lloyd is not here yet. So we are going to do this a cappella. I believe in us. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. And back to start. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. With extra thanks to Carol for keeping us on melody. You may return to your seats, and thank you so much.
For today's chalice lighting, it's a message from Swami Chidvilasananda. Each individual makes an offering to her own world, according to her own ability and her own worth. A person who engages in meditation as a spiritual practice allows herself to be transmuted into light. Then, wherever she goes, she transforms the atmosphere around her into one that is loving, harmonious, and glorifies the divine. And this does happen as you continually meditate on the light of the divine. Is that where we're going? It is. Okay, we'll do that.
And now, let us join together in a spirit of prayer. I do wish to note as we join together that if you are called to prayer or meditation and would like to light a candle or drop a stone at any time during our service or before or after, you are very welcome to use our shared spirit table for that work of community as well. Today, we join together in prayer for all those in need, all those with good things as well. Spirit of life, Spirit of love, we gather to be with one another, for it is here that we support one another, offering comfort in hard times. It is here that we bring our joys and our happiness to celebrate and amplify what is good in this world. And together we dwell in the wonder and mystery of this magnificent and ever-changing life. Today we offer our prayers in the wider world for those facing food insecurity or hunger, those facing housing insecurity, those worried about what is to come, for the victims of the UPS plane crash in Louisville, Kentucky. Let us offer our prayers not only for them, but for all their friends, their families, knowing that in our interdependence, we are connected to those who have passed. We are all connected. For elections and political transitions for all government employees and leaders, let us offer prayers for good judgment, prayers for good leadership. Let us offer prayers for all those coming into new offices, that they may be guided with the highest hopes of what they campaigned upon, that they may be worthy of the trust of the people who elected them. Let us offer our prayers as well for all those who are immigrants, all those who need our help to sustain their human rights. And today, so close to Veterans Day, let us offer gratitude especially for veterans and those in the armed forces, those offering their service to the common good. And as we approach the holidays as well, for all those who struggle with the holiday season due to grief or mental health or addiction, may you be gentle with yourselves and with one another. Let us give thanks for good news. We pray for the Saxons who are in the process of getting their first house. May that go smoothly and well. And we offer prayers for Bertha's sister and family who recently found out that she has breast cancer. And Lindy asks that we help her to welcome her second granddaughter to the world. Her name is Iris. She was born on Halloween. She is beautiful and healthy, and her family is doing well. For blessings, let us give thanks. And so, as the season turns cold and the snow begins to fall, let us offer our gratitude for this earth, which reminds us that time is ever passing, that all things come and go in their time. And help us to hold room in our hearts for the joys yet unshared and the sorrows too tender to speak aloud. In this space, may there be abundant peace and comfort and community which enfolds us. Amen, and blessed be. And now, if the young or the young at heart would like to join us on the chancel, we invite you to share in the leadership of speaking our covenant in unison before we begin our time for all ages.
As I so often fail to do. All right, we can hear me. We've got some young and young at heart folks and their stuffies. It is the emotional support chicken that has come up to join us. It is lovely to have you today. The words to our covenant may be found on the inside cover of your order of worship. And we begin, love is the spirit of this church, and service its cause. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth, and to help others. Today's worship is inspired by a particular story by Tommy DiPaola. It's called Strega Nona. Oh, fabulous. We've got folks up here who already know this story and like it. So, the story of Strega Nona begins in a little town in Calabria a long time ago, where there lived an older lady called Strega Nona, which means grandma witch, more or less. Although all of the townspeople talked about her in whispers, they all went to see her if they had troubles. Even the priest and the sisters of the convent went because Strega Nona had a magic touch. She could cure a headache with just oil and water and a hairpin. She made special potions for the girls who wanted husbands, and she was very good at getting rid of warts. But Strega Nona was getting old, and she needed someone to help her, to keep her little house in her garden. So she put a sign in the town square. And there she is putting up her sign. And Big Anthony, who didn't pay attention, went to see her. "Anthony," said Strega Nona, "you must sweep the house and wash the dishes. You must weed the garden and pick the vegetables. You must feed the goat and milk her, and you must fetch the water. For this I will give you 3 coins and a place to sleep and food to eat." "Oh, grazie," said Big Anthony. "The one thing you must never do," said Strega Nona, "is touch the pasta pot. It is very valuable, and I don't let anyone touch it." "Oh, yes," said Big Anthony. But do we know what Big Anthony's biggest fault is? He does not pay attention, but you all do, so you know. As the days went by, Big Anthony did his work, and Strega Nona met with the people who came to see her for headaches and husbands and warts, not necessarily in that order. And Big Anthony had a nice bed to sleep in near the goat shed and food to eat. And one evening, when Big Anthony was milking the goat, he heard Strega Nona. And she was singing. So peeking out the window, he saw Strega Nona standing over the pasta pot. And she sang a little song. Bubble, bubble, pasta pot, boil me some pasta nice and hot. I'm hungry and it's time to sup. Boil enough pasta to fill me up. And the pasta pot bubbled and boiled and was suddenly filled with steaming hot pasta. What a nice trick. And Strega Nona sang, enough, enough, pasta pot, I have my pasta nice and hot. So simmer down my pot of clay until I'm hungry another day. Oh, how wonderful, said Big Anthony. That's a magic pot for sure. And Strega Nona called Big Anthony in for supper. But too bad for Big Anthony because he didn't get to see Strega Nona blow 3 kisses mwah, 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 to the magic pasta pot. And this is what happened the next day. When Big Anthony went to the town square to fetch water, he told everyone about the pasta pot. And everyone laughed at him because it sounded so silly, a pot that cooked all by itself. You'd better go and confess to the priest, Big Anthony, they said. Such a lie. Big Anthony got angry, and that wasn't a good thing to be. Well, I'll show them, he said to himself. Someday I will get that pasta pot and make it cook, and then they'll be sorry. Well, that day came even sooner than Big Anthony would have thought, because 2 days later, Strega Nona said, Big Anthony, I must go over the mountain to see my friend Strega Amelia. Sweep the house and weed the garden, and feed the goat and milk her, and for your lunch there's some bread and cheese in the cupboard, but do not touch the pasta pot. Oh, certainly, Strega Nona, said Big Anthony, but inside he was thinking, my chance has come. And as soon as Strega Nona was out of sight, Big Anthony went inside and pulled that pasta pot off the shelf and put it on the floor. And let's see if I can remember the words, said Big Anthony. How did that start? Oh, bubble, bubble, toil and trouble. Uh-oh, we're about to end up in a very different story. Bubble, bubble, pasta pot. Boil me some pasta nice and hot. I'm hungry and it's time to sup. So boil enough to fill me up. And the pot bubbled and boiled and began to fill up with pasta. Aha, said Big Anthony. And he ran to the town square and jumped on the fountain and shouted, everyone get forks and plates and platters and bowls, pasta for all at Strega Nona's house. Big Anthony has made the magic pasta pot work. And of course, everyone laughed. But they ran home to get forks and plates and platters and bowls, and sure enough, when they got to Strega Nona's, the pasta pot was so full it was beginning to overflow. And Big Anthony felt like a hero. He scooped out pasta and filled the plates and platters and bowls, and there was more than enough for all the townspeople, including the priest and sisters from the convent. And some people came back for 2 or 3 helpings, but the pot was never empty. And when they had all had their fill, Big Anthony sang, enough, enough, my pasta pot, I have my pasta nice and hot, so simmer down my pot of clay until I'm hungry another day. But alas, he did not blow 3 kisses. So he went outside to the applause of the crowd and took a bow, and he was so busy listening to the compliments from everyone that he didn't notice the pasta pot was still bubbling and boiling until a sister from the convent said, Big Anthony, look! And there was pasta flowing out all over the floor of Strega Nona's house and coming out the door. Big Anthony rushed in, and though he shouted the magic words again and again, the pot kept bubbling. He took the pot off the floor, but the pasta kept pouring out of it. He grabbed a cover and put it on the pot and sat on it. But the pasta raised the cover and Big Anthony as well. And whoop, they all spilled onto the floor of Strega Nona's house. "Stop!" yelled Big Anthony. But the pasta did not stop. And if someone hadn't grabbed Big Anthony, the pasta would have covered him up. It had all but filled the little house by this point. And out of the windows and through the doors came the pasta, and the pot kept right on bubbling, and the townspeople began to worry. "Do something, Big Anthony," they shouted, and Big Anthony sang the magic song again. But without the 3 kisses, it did no good. And the pasta went on its way down the road, and all the people were running to keep up with it. "We must protect our town from the pasta," shouted the mayor. "Get mattresses, tables, doors, anything to make a barricade." But the pot kept bubbling and the pasta kept coming. "We are lost," cried the people and the sisters of the convent. They began praying. "The pasta will cover our town," they said. And it certainly would have if Strega Nona had not come down the road home from her visit. She didn't have to look twice to know what had happened. So she sang the magic song and she blew the 3 kisses, and with a sputter, the pot stopped boiling and the pasta came to a halt. "Whew! Thank you, Strega Nona," the people cried. Then they turned on Big Anthony. "String him up," the men of the town shouted. "Now wait," said Strega Nona. "The punishment must simply fit the crime." And she took a fork from a lady standing nearby and held it out to Big Anthony. "All right, Anthony, you wanted pasta from my magic pot," Strega Nona said, "and I want to sleep in my little bed tonight. So start eating." And he did. Poor Big Anthony. Oh, by the end, he has a belly very full of pasta, and he's looking a little sad about it. But Strega Nona is sleeping in her own little bed. Sometimes too much of a good thing is too much. So thank you for being with me through this story. And let us continue to ponder on abundance as we send our children forth. I believe this is the 2nd Sunday. And so Rhonda is going to help you head down to class as we sing our song. I believe so. Yeah, you can pass that to a child. Children, remember as you go the lessons we have learned together, to seek the light of truth, to tend the fire of caring, always returning to the warmth of this community. So it goes. Thank you, Meg, for making sure that the light of learning went with these children. Our sacred message comes from Karen Armstrong.
Sacred nature, and she is referring to the Golden Rule, which I'm sure pretty much all of you know. The Golden Rule, do not do to others what you would have not done to you, was developed independently by all the great religious traditions. It seems deeply rooted in a human morality. It requires us to look into our hearts, identify what causes us pain, and then refuse to inflict that on anyone else. What's more, this benevolence cannot be confined to your own conjugal exception. Compassion is the essence of religion and morality, and it is essential to the survival of humanity. That we constantly fail to put it effectively into practice is perhaps not surprising, as it runs counter to our ingrained selfishness, insisting that we dethrone ourselves from the center of our world. It requires us to regard others as equal to ourselves, to refuse to put ourselves into a privileged category, and deem the needs, desires, and ambitions of our fellow human beings as valuable as our own. One of the first to enunciate the Golden Rule was Confucius, for whom it was the essence of what he called Ren, a term that he refused to define because it did not fit any of the categories of the day. Ren could be summed up in 2 words, one of his disciples explained: zhong, dutifulness, fulfilling one's obligations to others, and shu, consideration, the ability to put oneself imaginatively in a place of another person and then act accordingly. Thus, shu could also be translated as likening to oneself. When asked how Ren could apply to political life, Confucius replied, "When in public, comport yourself as if you were receiving an important guest, and in your management of the common people, men, behave as if you were overseeing a great sacrifice. Do not impose on others what you yourself do not desire." The reflection of this sacred message is Dharma by me. As Karen Armstrong mentioned in the excerpt from Sacred Nature, Confucius was the first to put a word and definition to the Golden Rule. He called it Ren, but in India, they use the word Dharma, which loosely translated into English means sacred duty. But it's more than that. When I had the opportunity to live in India at an ashram nearly 30 years ago, I learned that Dharma was doing what's right regardless of the difficulty. This means between the easy, most convenient path and the most beneficial for all but far more difficult path, always choose the most beneficial for all. I was given several opportunities to practice, and rarely were they fun experiences. But they were valuable, and the rewards were far greater. Many people in the US and Western world know the truism, your principles only mean something if you uphold them when it's inconvenient. And that is the essence of Dharma, of sacred duty. In our current world, where a lot of things are becoming difficult, there are plenty of opportunities to practice Dharma. My husband is a civilian government worker, and he hasn't received a paycheck since October 14th. It's very hard to have equanimity when there is no income at all. Despite this, he has encouraged the Democrats in our government to stand their ground against the regime's efforts to destroy the health care of millions of people in this country. He said, "I would rather the Democrats stand up to protect the people from losing their health care than capitulate to the regime just to reopen the government so I can be paid." This is Dharma, the path benefiting all rather than the easy and most comfortable for him. The Golden Rule is most often quoted as, "Do unto others as you would have done to you." One thing I truly appreciate about this UU church here in Cheyenne is we truly follow this rule. An excellent physical manifestation of this dharmic stance is actually in our front entrance right now. The food sharing table shows we are putting our principles into action, giving generously to help those in need, and those who need the food can take what they want without guilt. This is taking care of community, not because it's easy, but because it's right. There are no stipulations beyond not bringing peanuts into the church. Offering help is very dharmic because it's literally fulfilling one's obligations to others after imagining oneself in their place. It is doing unto others what you would have done to you. Taking care of community, helping where you can, giving when you can. and taking what you need. This is Dharma, the physical manifestation of the golden rule in practice, and this is our way.
Thank you. So today, as we think, as we use this Time for All Ages, this children's story, as a touch point, as a text to be exposited from, like any story, like Bible stories, like Zen stories, the stories that help us are the ones that tell us a wise thing. In this one, there are good intentions. For Big Anthony is not cruel or selfish. Big Anthony does get angry and wants to be known as a big man around town. But he doesn't make the pasta pot boil in order to show off in a selfish way. He says, grab your forks, grab your plates. His intention is generous at the core. What Big Anthony fails to do is to find enoughness out of his own need to be seen as big, to be seen as magical, to be seen as a giver. He fails to note all the ways that we give gratitude, that we say enough is enough. Without that care, we notice the pasta just keeps on flowing, and what would be just enough turns into too much, turns into a problem, overflows the town, past barricades, throughout the village. You have to wonder, after all that pasta, what the countryside must have looked like, as if a particularly thick flood had covered the whole of the side of this little Italian town and their hills and vales. And so I think it oddly appropriate that we turn to this story of too muchness. Just as the news is sharing about Elon Musk becoming the first trillionaire, someone else with perhaps an enoughness that has turned into too much. We have people all over this country dreaming of the kind of enoughness that is so much one could not hope to spend all that they have gained within a lifetime, within their children's or grandchildren's lifetimes even. And here we turn instead toward a question of our values, generosity. In this time of government shutdown, in this time of need, in this time of rising grocery prices, we say, perhaps, in fact, we have enough, and more than enough. Our sharing table outside has been placed so that every person, whether what you are in need of is truly food or is simply time, perhaps what you need is a can of soup that does not take the effort of putting together, that too is a reason to take from the sharing table. Perhaps what you need is just a little something to make a birthday or a special time a little nicer. Take cookies, take cake decorations. These too are things that we can need and want together, that we can share. Like Big Anthony, we do not deserve to be fatally punished for acts of generosity, even if they are imperfect. But what we must do is share in sustainable ways. This sharing table should not be your entire pantry, to give or to receive. What we can do for one another is to find out what there is a need of, or to offer generously when there is a lot. For when that pasta pot boils, then certainly the town should be fed. But perhaps the pasta pot should not go on boiling forever. We should not make our own lives difficult or run ourselves to the bone for a need in its immediacy. Sustainable gifts are what we must have to offer. I am always intrigued by statistics about giving and charity, for it turns out that those who have less, those who live near or below the poverty line, in fact, give more generously relative to income than those who would be considered wealthy, those who are in that top 1% or even that top 3% of giving. And I often think, why? And then I realize the more you have, the more comfortable you are, the further people may feel they have to fall if they were to run out. And that need grows, that perceived what is the baseline of enough grows and grows without our noticing. And we have learned that enough is large in this country, that our needs can be large in this country. 1 or 2 or 3 shirts is simply not enough. How many people have enough shirts or pants or something that they don't fit well into your closet or into a drawer? How many could afford to give 5 or 10 articles of clothing to your local, wherever you donate? How many people have enough things in their pantry that if they truly needed to make meals for a week or a month, they probably could without going to the store? It might be a little bit weird meals, garbanzo beans with pasta. But hey, we have what we have. But it turns out what we perceive to need grows. If you have a large pantry, it's easy to grow your food stocks to the size of your cupboards, and then some. If you have a large house, it's easy to grow your needs, to fill every room, and then some. What if we took some time this month to offer gratitude for what we have and to let go of some of the things that are in overabundance? I wonder in this community if we might not have enough food already on our shelves for those who are in need in this time. Enough butter just waiting in the freezer, enough. I see some people don't bake, but oh, that's fair. Don't you keep some for holiday baking? I have confusion over here. But in any case, I wonder what we might already have. Even what we might have on our shelves, like that little pasta pot that might be able to give and give and give. What we might be able to do sustainably. Because giving all of what we have, giving until it hurts, is sometimes something we're told, but what it's called sometimes when I worked in street medic communities and with EMTs is creating another patient. If we give until it hurts, we have created a new person in need. If we do until we are exhausted, then someone else must care for us. If we give until we have nothing left, then we have created someone with needs as well. So give sustainably. Give in mutual aid. I have time and you have stuff. Let's work together to clear some of that out for the benefit of one another and those around us. What we find with those who have less overall is that generosity of giving creates social networks. It's mutual aid. When we give to one another, when we offer of our generosity, when we make one another a part of the gratitude of having enough, that creates community. And stronger communities are able to hold us through the lean times, through the times when we wonder if we have enough. On the other side of that, those who have been comfortable a long time, those who have had wealth or accumulated it, may create a comfortable loneliness. This I caution you about, because that comfortable loneliness, that ability to sit at home in your plush and warm spaces and watch Netflix and not make friends or sustain community, can turn into a wondering, if I lost my stuff, who would I have? What would I be? What would keep me well and safe? All of you who are here, I don't have to caution too hard, because I know if you are here in church, if you are trying to find community on a regular basis, then you are trying to resist that comfortable loneliness. And when we are not alone, we have the ability to open our hearts. I wrote a little bit about this in the newsletter, but I often come back to that remembering of the storytelling about Jesus and the 5,000. I don't think that it was like Strega Nona's pasta pot, a magical overflowing basket of fish. I think what happened, what's likely to have been the case, is that people bound together in community, caring for one another and seeing their need and their offering, said, I have a loaf of bread. I'm only going to eat half. I'll put the other half in. I have 5 fish and only 3 family members with me. 2 more can go in the basket. More and more offering of our abundance because we feel held by one another. When we have trust, we do not have that abundance of caution or that deep loneliness that leads to a pit that we try to fill with things. We don't feel like we need to hold on to all the food that we have in case of the next meal and the next. Instead, we give, and we find that the baskets were overflowing with scraps at the end of the meal. With Strega Nona, we find that when we give so much, yes, there was danger to the town because there was too much overall. But first, there was joy and a party. Generosity and abundance is good. And perhaps someday Strega Nona will bring pasta to those in need because she knows how to offer of generosity and also to say enough and blow those kisses of gratitude that let that pasta pot know enough is enough. I hope we too can remember day to day that enough is enough, that we don't need our homes, our drawers, our pantries to overflow with our abundance, but simply to have enough and to offer with generosity what we can, when we can. All of us have something to give and something to receive. And so, in community, may we give and receive gracefully and with love. May it be so. For our closing hymn, we're going to turn in our we're going to turn to hymn number 1010, which we sang last week. It's "Oh, We Give Thanks." And we'll go through this twice. Oh, we give. All right. Would y'all like me to sing once so that we know where we're headed? All right. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Ready? Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give this precious day. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Thank you all. And we'll remain standing as we extinguish our chalice flame and speak together the words in our order of service.
Right? We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry within our hearts until we are together again.
And so today, remembering our abundance, remembering that we need not wait until there is too much to give. Let us offer generosity. Let us offer the work of our hands and the generosity of open hearts to this world, which needs it so much. Blessed be.